This still doesn't feel real. Every time my phone rings or a message comes through, I'm still expecting it to be my mother checking on me, or asking me to do her shopping, or sending me a Bible verse for the day. Our mother was an amazing woman. She loved us all unconditionally and put us first before everyone and everything, even herself. She never had much, but what little she did have, she made sure was used in the best possible way for all of us. She was both the father and the mother in our household and played both parts to the best of her ability. An immigrant from the Caribbean, single parent, black female, and with general ill health, the odds were stacked heavily against her. But that did not deter her in the slightest, and she showed us every day what it means to stand tall in the face of adversity. Our mother gave us a stable home environment to grow up in, as my sister has already spoken about. We always knew where our mother was going to be, day or night. We always knew our food would be on the table, bills would be paid. She ensured that there was never any trouble at our door. We may have been a monetarily poor family, but we were extremely rich in so many ways. Growing up in East London, I've seen enough broken homes to know from a very young age that this stability was not to be taken for granted, and I always considered myself lucky and fortunate to have a mother like mine. I've never met someone who can fight the odds as hard as my mother. My mother's strong spirit, which saw her beat down cancer 3 times, raise 3 kids on her own, and live to double the life expectancy of someone with sickle cell anemia, is the kind of resilient example I've always fallen back on when I've hit rough times in life. My mum was never one to ask for help or complain when ill, or show weakness unless it was out of her control. Living with such a debilitating condition, all of someone's life will either make you or break you. My mother had too much to live for to let it break her. She was a proud and dignified woman, always wanting her independence right through till the end. She was tough and single-minded and knew what she wanted and did not waver from it no matter what. Some might call that stubbornness. I would call it a relentless persistence in what she believed was right. The phrase better to live for something than die for nothing comes to mind, and my mother definitely lived for something, that being the love of God, the love of her family, and the love of herself. The love of herself, or knowing her self-worth, is again something she taught us by example, and again a value that was priceless in our upbringing. I'm used to considering my mother in all life decisions I make. I'm so used to wondering if she's okay every day and checking in on her. Our household was bonded by consideration growing up. She considered what was best for us in everything she did. We learned to be considerate for her at a very young age due to her health problems, arguably more so than most families. This consideration still went on long after we all left home, up till her passing on. To be honest, to go from that to not being able to care for her anymore just doesn't feel right at all. This care never felt like a burden or a chore, and there is good reason for that. A powerful moral compass, understanding right from wrong, and knowing the importance of family and taking care of your loved ones were values that she embedded in us from an early age, and we were always grateful for that. Mum, I miss you every day. I owe everything I am to you, the triumphs that made you proud, and the trials I've overcome. The selfish part of me is angry at the world that you're gone. The selfish part of me is upset that you are no longer here to be that voice of wisdom, an unconditional understanding I've always been able to call on. However, the considerate side of me is glad you are suffering no more. The unselfish side of me is glad that the pain and torment of ill health can no longer hurt you. The grateful side of me is thankful I've had you here for me for the last 42 years. You are free now, Mum, and if anyone deserved to be free of all that affliction, it was you. You got to see us all grow up. You got to see your eldest son get married. You got to meet your granddaughter Ava Rose. You got to meet your amazing nephew Tyreek. For all those things, I will always be grateful. And Ava Rose agrees.
Okay.
You have set a perfect example of being a good parent for me, and I thank you for that. Ava Rose will be the beneficiary of all the hard work you put into raising me. I will make sure of that. My heart genuinely aches that you're gone, Mum. For 42 years I've only known a life with you, and now I have to go on without you. I will, Mum. I will go on without you, knowing you will watch over us every day. Your energy, your strength and your spirit flows through me, and whenever anyone looks at me, they will see a reflection of you. You left your mark on this world in so many ways, and I'm proud to consider myself one of those ways. Thank you, Mum. Thank you for being you. Thank you for everything, and you will always be in my heart until I take my last breath. I will always love you for everything that you were and everything that you were not. This isn't goodbye, Mum. This is till we meet again on the other side. Mum, you would always say this to me, and now I will say this to you. Jesus loves you, and so do I.
Okay.